This is Tim Staten with Tim Stating the Obvious. What is this podcast about? It's simple. You are entitled to great leadership everywhere you go, whether it's to church, whether it's to work, whether it's at your house, you are entitled to great leadership. And so in this podcast, we take leadership principles and theories and turn them into everyday relatable and usable advice. Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Tim Stating the Obvious. I'm very excited about the rest of this year. In January, I shared with you some of my goals for this year. And last year, we produced 19 episodes. And so far this year, we have produced 11 episodes, more consistently, minus that little break due to a move. But because of you sharing this podcast with one or two people who might like it, we have maintained a consistent monthly download from one month to another month. We have expanded in different states steadily over the last 6 months, so I really appreciate your support in that. And if you're a first-time listener, you might think, okay, why are you sharing this? I'm sharing this because every so often we need to step away, evaluate, and assess where we are in our yearly goals and our yearly goal-making process. You know, I've shared before that we need to make goals, and then we need to set milestones and monitor progress towards making these goals. We also talked about ensuring that we're monitoring the right metrics to see if what we're doing is effective. And if not, we need to evaluate, make some changes, and course correct to continue on. And it's okay to do that. You know, we do this, I do this all the time. And I looked at various metrics for more meaningful and more interesting data points to help me develop the show, to help bring more value to you. So a couple of things that I found very interesting, and starting off with the good things, right? So we're up 102% on first-time listeners, and we're hovering around an 80% retention rate. So one, all you first-time listeners out there, thank you for tuning in and listening. And two, thank you for coming back, to watch more, to listen to more episodes. So I really appreciate that as well. And it also means that you're sharing this and you're talking about the podcast with a couple other people, and then they're tuning in and listening. So I want to express my deepest appreciation to you for doing this, and I want to say thank you and ask you to keep this up. I think the strategy we talked about at the beginning of the year is working so far. One particular area I noticed, which I was lacking, and I want to really gain some traction on this, and I need to get better at this, is listener interaction, right? We have a Facebook page and an Instagram page, and I just started a TikTok page where I put mainly, like funny, office humor stuff on there. And the purpose behind this is to post and connect with you. So if you haven't checked out our pages, the links are in the description boxes below. And if this is your first time on the page, drop a comment and a note on the page to start a discussion. Or just look around, and if you like something, just give it a click or a thumbs up or a heart or whatever you want to, just so I know you're new to the page. But before we wrap up this really quick episode, brief synopsis, I was doing some research, and I found a Reddit thread that directly correlated to a Gallup research paper and reading talking about the changes in the workplace and whether people are happy, unhappy, engaged leadership. And really, we're going to, in the next couple episodes, really going to be talking about engaged leadership and what it really means to know your people. And this goes back into one of them, right? So the thread title was anyone else having to go back to the office because of poor leadership. And then someone put, gotta love the boomers in charge. Formalized hybrid remote designations, all signed off by HR, executives, and the department heads, all wiped away in one fell swoop via CEO email saying, everyone's back in the office first operating day of 2022. And then the poster said, gonna be a pretty shocking realization when our already high attrition rate doubles. And then somebody wrote and responded, breaking this down a bit because there is a lot just here. The employee feels like her leadership is poor and leading people remotely and blames it on an age gap between the leadership and the employees. Also lets us know that there is an expectation management breach by the company. So this goes, hand in hand with what the Gallup polls and research has really found globally in the marketplace right now, and also regionally here in the U.S. One thing that I find very interesting since the pandemic is people really enjoyed the ability to get productive work out of their home and have the ability to control their work-life balance. Before, the work-life balance was really designed by their commute to work, their proximity to work, traffic, how long they had to be at their job, and childcare. And so all those things combined really, gave them more control. So let's say, you have to, work 40 hours a week. Okay, well, I'm going to work 40 hours a week, but I don't have to spend an hour one way to work commuting, an hour home commuting. So if I spend 8 hours, it takes me 2 hours a day to commute. That's 10 hours out of my day. Then if I have to go pick up my kids at childcare, that could be another 30 to 45 minutes out of the way. So you're really looking at achieving time back versus time you've dedicated towards a specific organization or group. And one thing that I found that a lot of businesses are doing now is they're giving people the ability to remote work and get paid where their organization is actually residing and being able to live in a completely different state. So your money can go farther. But that's really what we're going to talk about in the next episode. But before we get into that, I kind of want to really know what you think about this. What have you experienced or what have you seen over, let's say, like the last 2 years as the economy is starting going back to normal, as workplaces are going back to normal or trying to go back to what they could view as normal, which is, do we really need to have everybody in the office? Do we really need 100% hands-on in the office? Or can we save some money by closing down a couple offices and having a core people, in a corporate area, and everybody else can work remote? So it's really interesting in seeing where this is going and where the focus is and how leadership tackles this difficult problem between maintaining talent and getting good, productive workers. So anyway, I'm very interested in what you have to think about this topic before I dive into it. I'm going to post, a quick little snippet on Instagram and on Facebook. So I look forward to hearing your responses of that, and I'll incorporate that also into the next episode. If you leave a comment or you make something out there, I'll also include that in on the next episode. Thank you for tuning in this episode. I'm Tim Staten, stating the obvious.